From the capital city, Sacramento, California, you're listening to one of the newest sports media sensations, the Sports Super Genius Podcast. Want to hear your opinions on air or on his blog? Email George at thesportsupergenius.com. Now from the private studio of thesportsupergenius.com, here is the Sports Super Genius.
Super Genius.
Hey, I'm back. This is George. I'm the self-proclaimed sports super genius. I just wanted to say thank you and sorry for all the long delays, but I'm here. I'm back. I'll be back around forever. This here's my Sports Minute update. I'm going to probably go a little bit longer than a minute because it has been a while, but I'm just going to talk briefly. I wanted to touch on Tyreek Evans, the Rookie of the Year, who got himself in a little bit of trouble last night driving over 100 miles an hour. But you know what? That's one of the things. Things happen. He's 20 years old. He's a very young kid. He did something the kid does. He was flying down this one part of Interstate 80. I know it very well. And he got caught going over 100 miles an hour. I've seen people fly by me like I'm standing still and I'll be doing 75. He ain't the only one that's done it. But like I said, I think he learned he won't do it again. He also learned that you can't have tinted windows, as he found out the hard way. His CHP officers had to draw their guns out, but immediately they put him away when he cooperated in outstanding fashion. And they also let him loose. So like I said, Tyreek Evans, he just did want to chalk that up for growing pains. A lot of kids go through it, and he won't be the first, and he won't be the last that goes through something like that. But also, in the past couple weeks, Ray Halladay threw a perfect game for the Philadelphia Phillies. That's the one thing there that is probably the largest feat that is considered, the hardest to obtain. Of course, there are some things that can't be done, but, for today, that is probably the number one thing. It's only been done 20 times, and once already this year, and twice. The past two teams that got caught on a perfect game was the Tampa Bay Rays. But anyway, the first perfect game, June 12, 1880, if you go to my website, I got a pretty good little write-up about it, is by the Worcester Ruby Legs, who are now denounced as the Boston Red Sox. They've changed their name several times. Of course, this is in 1880. He... Lee Richmond threw it. He was also a college pitcher, which started the whole thing about can a pro be also a college player. He was pitching both. He had to do the full-time job to do away with his college expenses back in the day. He was going to Brown University. So anyway, the Cleveland Blues, they lost in the first perfect game in 1880. Cy Young, some say that's the first perfect game in the modern era. I don't know how you can say it's modern because Cy Young pitched just about every day in 1904. But then, of course, Don Larson's perfect game, and then since then there's been quite a few others. So again, it's just it's getting to be more of a pitchers who are good at control. When you look down the list, you see Denny Martinez, Kenny Rogers, David Wells, David Cohn, Randy Johnson, who's just all pure power, Mark Borelli, Dallas Brandon, and then, of course, Ray Halladay. You're looking at some of the better control pitchers of the day. So once again, the perfect game is thrown, 20 of them. That is still one of the feats. That is still considered like the 4-minute mile and everything else. It's a very it's a very unobtainable goal. It's extremely hard. Every pitcher, Dallas Brandon said it. When you go out, or Braden, when you go out to throw a game, Dallas said, he goes, your first thing is you want to throw a perfect game. Then you want to throw a no-hitter. Then you want to throw a shutout. Then you just want to get out of there with a win. Then you just want to keep your team competitive. That's the pitcher's mentality. Anyway, my name's George. I'm the Sports Super Genius. Be looking for my podcast. Keep going to my website. Send me your blog. Send me everything you got because you know what? You could win $5. In this economy, $5 goes a long way still. Anyway, be listening for my podcast within 24 to 48 hours. It'll be on iTunes. It'll be going out everywhere. I'm going through some editing, and it'll be out soon. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for listening, and thank you again, and thank you for all your support through my tough times of moving out back to California.
Do you have a view, or are you upset about your favorite sport or team? How'd you like to get paid?
Well, just send it to George at thesportsupergenius.com. If selected as the best, you will get $5 just like that.
The Sports Super Genius.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Super Genius Podcast. Hope to have you back as a listener. And want your opinion shared and get paid? Email them to George at thesportsupergenius.com.
Super Genius.